What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Better Biomed. And yeah, it's a little colder out today. I'm out here in New England, in Boston. And today we're going to take a tour of Samsung. And this is pretty amazing. We have an 80,000 square foot facility with multiple modalities being manufactured and assembled here or configured. And this is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm up here on a hilltop overlooking the entire town of Danvers, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So guys, let's go ahead and let's take a tour of this very special behind the scenes look of Samsung and some of their affiliate companies. They're all located here in this 80,000 square foot facility. Let's do it.
Hi, welcome in.
Might be a familiar face. Rhiannon is the one who introduced me to Samsung, and we have this special opportunity because of her. And you can see immediately greeted by a beautiful entryway. And folks, here's our team.
Welcome, Justin. Mike Hayward, I'm the National Director of Service. Glad you're here.
Excellent.
Stacey O'Clair, National Service Manager.
Hey, Justin, thanks so much for coming out.
Guys, this is the team that is responsible for taking care of your Samsung medical products, and also we have NeuroLogica and the what other company? Oh yeah, Boston Imaging, of course.
Boston Imaging.
I always think it's just Samsung, but you guys actually have 3 companies that are technically here, right?
So there's 2 companies here. There's NeuroLogica, which is our mobile CT business, and Boston Imaging, which are DR and ultrasound business. We're both wholly owned subsidiaries of Samsung Healthcare. So we are Samsung.
That's right. And I'm sporting my vest as well.
You are Samsung.
Because I didn't check the weather before I came out here to New England, which is a classic Texan mistake. So, folks, it is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you could see in my preface, but we have just a gorgeous view up here on the hillside, and what an awesome location. This is actually, you guys have been here for a while, right?
Yeah, NeuroLogica was founded 24 years ago, I believe, in this building. Fun fact is the hotel we stayed at last night is owned by the owner of NeuroLogica.
What?
So the restaurant you had breakfast in, I forget the name of it, it is named after his wife.
Oh, Sophia.
Sophia's. So Sophia was his wife.
What? That's so wild.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So today we're going to see some brand new technology that people haven't seen before. And then we're going to do subsequent videos that are going to follow up. So today, just stay with us. We're going to do a kind of brief walkthrough. I don't know how you do a brief walkthrough of 80,000 square feet. But guys, we're going to do it. We're going to try and cover as much as we can. And then we're going to do follow-up videos. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, go ahead and leave them down below. And we will try and get answers for you. Maybe even do future videos based on you guys' suggestions. So guys, let's do it.
All right,
Come on, let's go.
Come on in.
Fancy.
So the first floor, Justin, is a lot of administrative areas for Boston Imaging. Our human resources department is here. We'll stop by and say hello to them.
First door on the left.
Oh, and here she comes.
Our favorite HR.
Our favorite HR
I had no
person.
idea that she's going to be on video today.
Wore her Ralph Lauren outfit today. Megan
Very
is one of
stylish.
our HR specialists. So as we talked earlier, Justin, we're a
Look at this.
multinational company. We have a contingent from South Korea that are dispatched here for 2 or 4 year terms, and they all support the business from a different perspective. Our financial team, Jae Young Chang, Patrick Choi is our controller, and then down this side is all our product support specialists.
So this is all admin. Isn't it,
All
folks?
admin.
Yeah, we won't be interrupting people because this is a work day and people are currently like in meetings and stuff. So we'll be as nice and quiet as we possibly can. You see some of the team over here.
This is our ultrasound logistics team.
Okay.
So they coordinate all the shipment, delivery, pre-staging of all the product before it leaves the building.
All right.
And then you see the size of that team for ultrasound. Let me show you the DR team.
DR team, much bigger.
Much bigger. Here he is right here, Jeff Hawley.
It's all
He
on
is
you,
our
huh?
logistics king for DR.
Wow, that's amazing. One person.
One person coordinates all the shipment delivery of our portables,
Yeah.
our RAD rooms, and facilitates all our demo deliveries.
Oh, wow.
We're so grateful for you, Jeff.
Jeff sleeps here under the desk is a pillow.
You say we left like late last night and he was still here. So
It wasn't much. It wasn't. But I left around 7. It wasn't too bad.
Now, the interesting thing about our Korean contingent is they'll come here probably 9, 10 a.m. and support the American team, and then 5 o'clock rolls around and this building empties,
Yeah.
except for this hallway. And Kwang Yu Kim, who I was going to have here today but didn't finish work till 3:30 this morning,
jeez.
he supports our service business. So they're not only supporting us, but they're supporting Korea and getting the feedback we need from Korea here in the United States. So if we have a service escalation that happens at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're not waiting a day and a half for a response. He'll work with Korea that night. We come in the morning, we may have a new software patch.
That's wild.
An action plan.
The speed at which HQ delivers what we need is second to none.
Okay, so we have some.
And then here are some of our administrative offices. Our business leader, David Legg, sits in that corner over there. He's traveling here as we speak and should be here this afternoon. And for me, you know, what we do is important, but we have such an amazing support staff behind us. And I have to introduce you to the person who got you here and the person who'll get you home and fed you, Jackie Powers.
Miss Jackie. The most stylish desk in the entire room.
Ever.
Of course.
It's like having a corner office.
And her birthday balloon.
Yes. Giant birthday balloon. So fun.
These were occupied by a lot of our service support staff, but as we'll show you in a minute, this afternoon we have the grand opening of our new service center.
That's going to be so cool.
We're so excited. We had people who were literally working in a warehouse, sitting behind a cubicle, answering phones for customers. And it's taken about 9 months, but we finally have a place they can call home and
Right.
live in every day.
Well, as you can tell, like you got many people talking in one area. It gets kind of loud, and when you're trying to help people out over the phone, you got to focus and have a quiet environment. So it's very cool that you guys are expanding your facility. Now we're going to actually touch a lot of the equipment. You can see that there's an army of ultrasounds that they're going to roll out from here. They come in and they get configured. We'll actually go through all that, and you can see some of them that are being staged right here as part of the process. That's so cool.
We're missing one component to our new service center, which is a day late. Tomorrow, the new door will be installed, but this is our new Samsung service center.
Oh, that's cool. And it even smells brand new.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
The new cubicles, and most importantly, the people have a place to call home.
It's a nice quiet room too. I mean, because we got warehouses and obviously you got sales team and stuff. So this is what we're talking about when you're trying to help people out. You know, it's good to have a dedicated quiet area so that you can make sure. And what about the hours for the service center?
Yeah, service center usually runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Eastern. Okay.
Eastern time, and then we have after-hour support. So technically, it's a 24-hour support center. Technical support engineers available around the clock and are
That's
dispatched.
phenomenal.
I see John Dixon coming around the corner.
John
here.
Dixon's
Yeah.
a coming.
Hey, John, that's
John is
great.
actually our videographer here as well.
Okay, excellent. Well, hey, John.
And you said it first, having a quiet work environment, but to me, these people are some of the most underrated, not undervalued. They're so important to our organization because they never, ever get a call with somebody saying, hey, great news, I just want to tell you, everything's working fine.
Of course. It's always going to be somebody that's either flustered or, you know, seeking an answer quickly.
100%. And we're super proud of them all and glad they're here.
Very cool.
And you'll spend time with John later going over some of our remote
Let's
technologies.
see, we're just in one small corner of this facility. We have a receiving cage. We've got the loading docks. Then we have some of the assembly and configuration areas. So you see a couple of the lines right here, a couple of modalities we've got. So this is the ultrasound that we walked past.
This is our RS-85 Women's Health System.
That's interesting. So based on the customer's order and configuration, there might actually be like boards and stuff that you have to swap out, right?
Yeah. I
They
think
want 3D with the 3D boards in.
And a lot of that stuff is done here in Danvers by our team here. They'll get the installations pretty much ready for us to go, so that when we're in the field trying to get these new systems to our clients, we don't have to do major hardware installations. It's just in and out and getting that customer set up with a brand new system, and all the hard legwork goes on here by the wonderful people in Danvers.
Interesting. And this is their portable X-ray system. It's
So GM85.
GM85, and it's actually a breeze to drive around, which I'm not going to do on this one. Guys, we're going to do a whole separate video on each one of these products because there's a lot of really cool features and there's a lot of tidbits to them that you probably aren't expecting. And that's one of the interesting things that you'd expect from Samsung. It's a company that's already very diverse in its manufacturing. So they have a lot of experience with developing products that are going to either be serviced or be utilized in a variety of capacities. So some companies, they only specialize in one thing, but you got engineers and stuff that work on a variety of different things. And they bring in a lot of extra specialties like their battery division. If you guys didn't know, Samsung is one of the world's largest providers of high quality batteries, and they actually utilize those batteries in their own products, which is very cool. So, all right guys,
all right. It's a mess back here with the move.
oh, I'm sure. So we got a lot of crates and stuff. Do you guys ship out like loaner units and everything from here?
Our loaner units will ship out of here. So that crate houses the portable. This crate will house one of our ultrasound. That crate behind you houses a different ultrasound product.
Really?
So each crate is specifically designed.
That is an absolute beast. And plus, I mean, you guys are well represented at trade shows and stuff like that around the country. So, I mean, you guys have quite a bit of stuff that's coming out of this one facility.
Yeah, it's
That's very neat.
Not to mention our hot swap units.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a bunch back here. So we showed you the digital detector yesterday on
Yes.
the GM85. So those digital detectors unfortunately get dropped.
Yeah.
Fail at times. The majority of our problems are dropped. So these are all loaner detectors
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
or detectors that need repair. So what we don't want to do is put a customer out of commission if they drop a detector or it stops functioning.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll match their detector, ship it to the site, they ship theirs back, and all the repairs take place in this room here to your right.
And one of our field service engineers will actually go and configure and make sure the IP addresses are set up so that everything is talking and communicating
cool.
the way it should.
This is the room for nerds like me. And they're actually doing real repair.
So her specialty is actually repairing our digital detectors.
That's so cool.
That's all she does.
It's a very
All day
specialty
long.
knowledge to be able to do something like that.
Incredible,
I mean, there's only probably a few people in the country that could probably even do it.
And the intricacies, I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking with very small components.
I mean,
inside
it's
there.
not just
It'd
the
be so
electronic
neat
side. You have to be
to-
like a specialist in networking and, you know, electronics
Oh, yeah.
components plus composite materials. You guys use a lot of composites.
We should show Justin one of our detectors opened up so he can see what one looks like on the
Yeah,
inside
we'll let
at
her
some
finish
point.
this and
That's cool.
when we do the portable
But
one.
you,
back
I mean,
to
you
that.
guys have glass and non-glass.
Correct.
Yes.
So I mean, the
Correct.
non-glass ones are obviously a lot lighter. There's definitely a different technology. Oh my gosh, look at this.
And
So
the
here's-
weight,
This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, logistically speaking, like we're talking large items. So you're gonna have large boxes, and that's what we have here. We have a whole army full of boxes. Now you guys seen the ultrasounds that were sitting in the hallway. when an order comes in, they bring it in here, they unbox it, and then it gets configured according to the order to make sure it's right. And then the FSE is going to do the final configuration on site, which includes like your facility name, setting it up for the network, etc. But that's
Most
amazing.
of the legwork is done here. We'll unbox them. We'll take the packaging off. We'll do any software upgrades to get it to the latest and greatest. If hardware is required, the hardware swaps occur right here in Danvers. And then we crate them back up. We send them to the customer. And then that way, when I go out to the site to do the install, most of the hard work is done. And the end user doesn't have to see us opening their brand new system to put in a board. So they get it all intact and ready to go.
You guys even do all the prerequisites for networking and stuff like here before it even gets to the customer.
Yep.
Most of it, yes.
That's pretty cool.
Not only do they have to be technically sound, they need to be great at puzzles because it comes with all that packaging.
And we have to put all this back the
Yeah.
way we pulled it out of the box.
I was just looking at that. I was like, that is definitely a
When
lot
it
of packaging.
goes back, it looks the same.
No, that's very cool. Is this the gel warmer?
It is, yeah.
Wow, that looks pretty. Some of the other ones just look like, a standard like heater cup. Okay.
And a lot
And
of
these
thought
come with
went
so
into
many
it.
different features. So you can have an optional gel warmer. You can add a transvaginal probe holder externally on these as well. You have the option of 3 or 4 ports on some of our systems as far as how many probes you want.
I've seen another option that you guys had. It was a projector that sits on it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, so usually when one of these ultrasounds is used in woman services, GYN, what they will have is an auxiliary monitor and maybe a wireless HDMI link between the two so that you have to turn your head off to the side and see some monitor that's on an adjacent wall. But what they do is they have a projector that sits on the back and it shoots up towards the sky, because when you're at one of those woman services, you're already staring up, right? So since you're staring up, you have to then turn your head to the side to see a monitor. Whereas on these ones here, it's sitting next to you. They just project straight up at the ceiling, live, whatever the sonographer, I can't even talk this morning, the stuff that the sonographer pulls up, that's what you're actually seeing on the ceiling with the projector, which is actually a cool idea. I've never seen that before. And the fact that you guys kind of have that set up as an option, that's pretty cool. Really neat stuff, man.
We also eliminated the need to have an external printer to print the images from your ultrasound. We have a technology called Hello Mom, where the customer can actually scan a QR code and get their images from their scan right away on their cell phone and have them ready without the waste of paper or the need
Like
for
while
any
you're
sort
at the
of
doctor's
additional
office,
peripheral.
you have the images show up to your telephone?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because you're going to just share them on social media anyway. So the guys that are holding up like that little black and white printout, those days are done. That's interesting. So we currently have some people working over here. You can see the software stations. And this is where the call center used to be, is over here. And you can see they're in a state of deconstructing it because everybody has now moved to their nice shiny new offices. And
It's going to be DR now.
yeah, okay.
Everything's getting reconfigured. We're going to build more offices back there.
So
There's a
over
lot.
here we have some repair, and this is where we're going to transition from ultrasound to portable X-ray. And they have that over here in the corner. We're trying not to disrupt anybody. Very cool stuff. Oh, look at this. So ultrasound is known for being a very complex thing, but portable X-ray is also extremely complex. And the technology is changing so quickly.
Portable ultrasound being repaired at the moment.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes. One of our wonderful repair technicians.
Oh, that's good stuff. Now, I'm familiar with the older GE units, which were very clunky internally. So these ones here, do they have they have an external power brick, right? For all these? Okay, that would make sense because there is no real estate left inside it. Look at the cooling solution. They got all the fans down the back side because there's a lot of processing that takes place inside in the ultrasound.
And these our veterinarians really love these systems because they're portable
Yeah,
and they can put them in their bag and go from site to site.
yeah, man. Ultrasound tech is changing so quickly. Then over here we actually have the service area for portable digital X-ray.
So this is Kurt Bartz. He's our lead
Yes, sir.
technical support engineer. He's teaching a class right now, and I
Okay.
pulled him out. And
Excellent.
He can walk
you guys
you through
do
some of
classes
the-
on site too.
yeah, we have one going on right now.
How many classes do you guys do per year?
We do in-house, one class a month, and we also do remote classes.
Okay, fantastic.
Now, Kurt, you've also gone overseas to teach classes to our VAs.
That
Have
is
you
true.
not?
Yeah.
That is
So
true.
we do international training at some points
Yes.
if the need is there.
Yes. Where'd you go last?
Djibouti.
Yeah.
Really? Holy cow, I could only imagine what's going through your mind when you get that email that says, by the way, you're going to ship across the world.
We did say good luck.
There was a lot,
Yeah,
there was a lot of
absolutely.
begging at first.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually pretty cool. That's one of the things that people have to realize is that Samsung is already a global name. So, I mean, while they're gaining market share here in the United States with medical products, around the world they're already very well known.
Yeah.
But you guys also ship units to special customers and whatnot to do training, which
We
is
do.
Correct.
fantastic. It's really rare because most places you have to, ship your technicians across the country, and that's a very expensive way to do training. It really is.
Yeah, so we'll do a class of 10
Okay.
typically, and we'll ship either one or two of our systems to the site to train on.
Yeah.
What we don't want to do is train on a customer system. We're going to break it. We're going to put
Yes.
bugs
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
of course.
And we don't want to bug their system and then leave. And it's like, hey, what'd you do?
Yeah,
Get us a new one.
Not working.
That's wild.
So for this product, we'll train literally anywhere around the world. And for our overhead rad room and our floor mounted rad room, people are required to come here for training.
And that makes
or
sense.
Seoul.
And that's something that people probably don't understand is that you guys do have full-on rad rooms, and we'll get to it. We'll do a whole video on them because they're very neat. They're automated. But yesterday I had the opportunity to walk through and take a look at their portable X-rays, and unlike systems that I've had a history of working on, these ones here, all the components are facing outwards and they're mounted around a center chassis, which is pretty neat because all the points for testing are very accessible compared to the models of yesteryear. And it's really neat to see all the different sensors. You've got the lithium batteries, the servo motors, charge controllers.
So the real
Justin, this
cool
is
thing,
one of our older ones.
Really?
the new system that we just released literally has four
Four boards?
boards and motors and a battery.
Really?
They
It's
just keep it perfecting them for us and making them easier to service.
from a troubleshooting perspective. You know,
That is wild.
if you need a hero kit, it's gone from 24 boards down to 11 to 4.
Really?
So
And
4
you do
boards.
hero kits?
We do what we call forward stocking locations.
Okay.
And then at some of our bigger clients, we'll do a forward stocking location inside the Biomed department. So they're trained, they have a shelf with our parts, and
Right.
they service it and they replenish it.
So one of the reasons I'm here is because Samsung is going to be one of the leaders when it comes to training technicians and handling your own service requests if you choose to do your own service. I mean, of course you guys will do contracts and stuff if people want. But if you have a very large medical facility and you want your in-house staff to maintain their equipment, they can come here and get training, and then they have access to stuff, which it's funny to even say the name. It's a system called Jesus, and once somebody goes through training, then they have a full entire software suite and manuals and everything, and a knowledge base on a system called Jesus. And when I first heard it said, well, let's go consult Jesus, I thought like, hey, I've worked at religious hospitals before. I get it. Like, but no, you serious. Like, you have a knowledge base called Jesus. And that's one of the things that people have access to when they complete Samsung training. It's pretty cool. It's got a bunch of error codes and whatnot on there, and it just kind of walks you through the process. And I think that's also really
So
unique.
we can use GSIS to actually scan a QR code from the system, and
Okay.
it will generate our one-time password so that we may load software. It'll automatically update Jesus with what software revision is on our system when we scan that. That keeps our records up to date as well. And it's so useful for us in the field to readily know you know, what options are available, how to source a part for the customers. And anybody who attends our training has access to those resources, which is such an invaluable tool to have as a in-house biomed trying to keep your fleet going.
Now, on
Great
any of
point.
these systems, I got a question for you, because you guys offer training and everything, but what if somebody needs extra help? Can you guys remote into these systems?
We can.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. We've got 2 different ways. We use TeamViewer, when
Okay.
that's allowed, and also Beyond Trust.
Okay.
Yeah, we can fully remote in. We can load software.
That's
we can run
wild.
diagnostics, download log files.
Right.
That type of thing.
What about usage data and stuff? I mean, that's something that people are, especially with the RAD room and stuff, people are keeping track of patient flow and whatnot. Do you guys have access to, like, see the amount of time between, which we'll get to that. I mean, it's revolutionary how you can transition from positioning a patient in one procedure to doing a whole different study, like at a touch of a button, which is wild.
Yeah.
It's something I hadn't seen before, and we'll talk about that, but that's very cool stuff. So we have a class that's currently...
One of the cool things that Ree mentioned is when you're trying to get your password, in the past, you'd have to call.
Okay.
And you'd wait, and you'd wait, and you'd wait. Literally, you have the GSIS or Jesus app on your phone. You scan a QR code on the system, it generates your
And you're in.
password, and you're in.
Wow.
So there's no waiting on a phone. I mean, that's,
You don't have to call a soul.
we don't want people on hold ever. So our dispatch center, we don't have a prompt system. Press 1 for
Yeah.
service, 2 for technical. It's live all the time. So it's about that human interaction to support people.
And that one-time password is good for approximately 3 days.
Okay.
So what I tell the students is, once you scan that one-time password, you know you're going to be working on the system for a while. Just take a screenshot, and you've got that password, or write it down, or whatever. You use that same password for about 3 days.
And you guys can next day parts and stuff
Oh, yeah.
as soon as somebody needs it. That's
So
fantastic.
We have them here in California at the global Samsung distribution center.
So we've got units that are here for repair, and then we also have units that are down there. They have several units that are in each of the classes for training, but we won't go and interrupt the class at this time.
So Justin, another thing about these systems here, a lot of times these are used as hot swap units.
Oh,
So
hot
if a
swap.
hospital has a system that's under a contract and maybe they're suffering a failure, and say a part is back ordered, and they need this mobile unit, we're able to ship a hot swap unit to a hospital while we're waiting on parts or while we're doing the repair in those unique situations when that's needed. And these are fully tested before they're crated up and boxed out, and we just keep them rolling. I mean, the main goal is to keep the customer going at all times, and so.
Let's sneak through back
Yeah,
to the
no,
class.
go ahead. I get it. People get unruly when they're not being watched.
Yeah,
I'm one of them.
they're gonna break things.
This is cool. So this is their service area for taking care of these.
It's a mess right now.
Yeah, we're in the middle of changing our layout here, so everything's been shuffled around, so please pardon the construction.
All right, and the next, we're going to take a look at their full-scale DR rooms and some of their training
I
facilities.
think we can cut through it. Justin, we can cut through here and you can say
Okay.
hi to the class.
All right.
Guys, thank you for coming.
Hey guys,
Enjoy
how's it
the
going?
training. We're sneaking through. We'll be
Yeah.
quiet.
As quietly as possible, not really. Hey guys. So what's crazy is when you're doing X-ray, you have to have shielded rooms, and obviously there's a lot of infrastructure that you have to plan for, and it's a very expensive endeavor. So it's kind of cool that you guys have taken that step, and you can see that there's precautions and stuff everywhere. That's very cool. Now we have.
Right behind you is the mobile CT training lab.
Oh really?
They have a class going on now. We can come back up.
And that's the covers from the mobile CT.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later.
So
That's
we have 2 classes right
that's a
now.
whole nother discussion. The fact that they make mobile CTs. That's wild.
So here's where we do the hands-on training portion of the DR class.
Okay.
lead-lined room. They can image,
Yep.
take x-rays, and
So the class we just walked through is likely going to come in and their instructor is going to bug these systems and they're going to tear them apart and try to figure out what the bugs were. And so they'll be coming back and forth in between class and into this room today.
That's cool. I accept that challenge.
I had a lot of fun in our class. And I thought it was really rewarding to sit in the class and share the table with other people, other biomeds from around the country. I was actually one of the only Samsung employees in the class, and I was sitting with all of you guys, so it was pretty neat.
Oh my God, that is beautiful. It's also very quiet. I mean, if you can hear, I'm almost whispering when I'm talking. Holy cow, that is so cool. So if you're going to do like a hand shot or something,
Yep. All you gotta do is push the button on the remote.
that is incredible. So it knows where it's at. And if you want to transition to, let's say, a spinal, that is so cool because they move in tandem, which obviously is going to save you time.
Capable of stitching as well. You can stitch.
That is so crazy. Now, hey, what is this guy down here? That doesn't look familiar. Is that a camera?
It is a camera, yes.
Okay.
And the camera is used for stitching, and it'll show up on the SD station.
That is so cool. What a beautiful display. And here's an interesting thing. I don't think I've seen a table like that. So what's the story with the table?
yeah, so it's a pedestal table designed for easy access for wheelchairs. If you look at the video here, you know, you raise it up, you can get the patient literally under it.
Yeah.
But what the, you know, technologists have shared with us is, how do we get a Hoyer lift?
Right, right.
How do we get a patient in a Hoyer lift?
Because you're going to have a lot of patients that have mobility issues or, you know, weight issues or something, or they really might have a critical condition. So you have to,
Yeah.
you know, you got to move them carefully.
So in the past, it was, you know, you float the tabletop,
That's cool. Wireless foot control.
you'd bring the lift as close as you can, swing the patient into position,
Yeah.
and then start your procedure. Now, you literally bring the patient under the table, so they're positioned here. It really reduces the risk of falls and injuries when you're trying to transport a patient.
And we've seen the wall bucky and the tube. Now, does the table bucky also move automatically according to the
It
position?
does. Now you're gonna make me work.
That
You
is
see
so
the bucky
cool.
is moving now.
Man, those servos are so quiet in that guy. That is cool stuff. We will do a whole video on this system showing you some of the cool things it can do.
So
Yeah.
you'll see it.
We have multiple rooms set up with VR. And this one here isn't even the newest. Like, you guys have another one, I think, that's going to be coming out sometime soon.
We do. It's out on the market. It's designed for a much smaller space with lower ceiling requirements.
Oh, yeah.
Some of, you know, especially here in Boston,
That is so
you have
cool.
hospitals that are hundreds of years old, and
Neat stuff.
I can't wait till we show Justin stitching
is the
later.
camera? Oh. Yeah, we'll have one now.
This is for load bearing.
Yep. Weight bearing, and then if you need a stitching stand.
What a cool room. Now, do people train on this particular unit in this room?
No, we have a sister room right across the hall that I bet you $1 it's locked, but when we come back up,
Okay.
it's identical to that room.
Right.
Oh,
So
It's
this
open.
would be like a sales demo.
this is sales, yep.
Guys, I love going in places that we're not supposed to go.
So this is where the training occurs.
Oh, cool.
So we have the mobile training room. So if the students are going to class on the GC85, this is an older system, but we tear it apart and rebuild it This is actually where I did my GC85 training. It's a fully functional system, complete with the SU station where we learn how to do all of the networking and configuring the detectors.
That's cool. That's a small generator cabinet.
We use NewSoft and DR Gem generators.
And the main difference between this room and that room is it doesn't have the same camera capabilities.
Yeah.
So this will be upgraded to the room across the hall. And if you want to poke back in there for one quick second, we'll show
Sure.
you the cameras.
So that's what we were talking about, the underside. The other unit had a camera so it could detect where it's at. And so that it gets X-ray stitches that match the photographic stitches.
You want to see the camera in action?
Let's do it. Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, the
Come
camera,
on this way.
the camera you were asking about.
Yeah.
So we've got our camera, and it's positioned. You look, you see Mr. Hayward there, and so it knows where to place the THU to do the scan, and it'll take 3 consecutive images and stitch them together.
Okay.
And we don't even have to be in the room with the patient to do that. It's all done here from the station.
So the Bucky's gonna move automatically
The
for the next
Bucky will
position.
move.
That's cool. And let's check out that remote. That is probably, that's what I expect from a Samsung product. An absolute gorgeous remote. And
You can program it.
it's kind of heavy as well.
Yes.
It's incredible. No, that's neat. Samsung, you know, they are a hardware company, but even more so, if you have a Samsung phone, you know that they're a software company. They really heavily develop their hardware around their software suites, and that is where these things are just absolutely gorgeous. I was expecting this to have more problems with my camera because of the refresh rate, but it's a high refresh rate tablet that's in there, so that's very cool. Comes out really clear on my camera. Neat stuff. All right, excellent. So we've got ultrasound, we've got digital portable X-ray, we've got the DR suite of rooms.
But wait, there's more.
Wait, guys, see, that's just it. I know that we've already gone down several hallways that are full of rooms. And like I said, this is 80,000 square foot, so it's the biggest illusion of this entire facility is how vast it really is. And we just keep going from room to room to room. Oh, wow.
This is our engineering
This is
area.
a massive room. guys.
Design and engineering for our mobile CT products.
It's also really quiet. It's the think tank. Oh, that's so cool. All right. We won't disturb anybody, but wow. This is what I'm talking about. I'd come here and chill with my coffee. Which they have really good coffee machines here as well. Oh, the coffee machine is definitely a highlight of my trip, man. Oh, wow. I didn't see. Oh, it smells so good in here. So we've got boardrooms. We've got boardrooms on both sides. Here's,
Our wonderful coffee machine.
here's another one of those infamous coffee machines. Oh, I can smell this like coming through the doorway. Oh, so good.
Ultrasound Women's Health Think Tank.
Ah, interesting.
We'll do scanning, ultrasound scanning.
John might be in there.
So we'll bring you in here. There's no patient. We're just,
Okay.
we'll come back later.
So they not only do hardware repair training and whatnot, they also do applications training. So there's a lot of application specialists that are floating around. So some cool stuff. So really neat stuff. And you can see they have treatment rooms kind of set up. They can run phantoms and stuff and teach people how to run phantoms.
They have it projected up on the ceiling.
Oh, wow. So that is one of the things that we were talking about, folks. Take a look at this. So if you were laying down, you can see a live image right up above you. And that's the aforementioned projector that interfaces with Samsung systems. And because they make so many other types of equipment, they also make the projector. You can see the 3D Phantom right over there. Oh, that's so cool. I wish I would have had 3D ultrasounds when I had my kids.
Well, they've got 5D now too.
What? What the heck?
3D, 4D, 5D, it just keeps
No. Takes some of the guesswork out of what your kid's gonna look like. No, that's wild.
It's a semi-loop. So this is essentially 4D when you have the movement, and it's not just a still image.
What?
So now you can go in and you can get go to your OB-GYN office, see your baby live moving, sticking his tongue out, moving his fingers, with the technology included in our system.
Man, when I had my first kid, like we were debating on whether or not it was a boy or a girl. Like, I mean, we actually had that fight.
All the same.
That's so cool.
Innovations that have gone into our televisions and our cell phones, they're all built into our ultrasound systems and our DR systems. So our image quality is just unbelievable.
That is so cool.
Thank you, ladies.
It's a good feature, is the projector. Oh my gosh. All the offices and everything are so classy. I like this. They all look so cool.
The Edison office.
So guys, if you thought that that was everything, you would be wrong, because I said 80,000 square foot, and we haven't even hit half that. Next, we're gonna go and we're gonna visit the other half of the company, which is wild, because here in this exact facility, they manufacture CT scanners, and not just any CT scanner, portable CT scanners. In other words, like they drive around and they can shoot from a variety of locations, places where you don't have to have a hardened fixture. So you're talking operating rooms and stuff like that, trauma units. You can even move a CT into an ER. Instead of wheeling the patient completely across the facility, you could wheel it to them wherever they are at, which is pretty phenomenal. But they also have mobile cephalus scanners, head scanners, and those are just even more amazing for treatment of patients that have stroke and aneurysms. You can actually bring the scanner to them in an ambulance.
We've got some pictures.
We're gonna check that out right now. This is in an ambulance?
CT in an ambulance, mobile stroke unit, referred to
That is a massive ambulance. That would be like a bus. But believe it or not, the OmniTom is not that big. So it just, because we're also used to seeing a CT as a massive device, you would think that this is a huge, huge vehicle, and it's not. But we'll take a look at the OmniTom.
You see the grid lines here locking it in.
Oh, yeah.
The
So you can
OmniTom
move
is
it.
going to come to the patient. We do not have to move the patient
I
to
didn't
the
even think
OmniTom.
about that. So obviously, if you're scanning, the scan head's not going to move. The whole entire gantry is going to move, and the patient's going to be stable. And as it does the scan, it's going to move on. Right here, we have linear rails. So it is going to drive itself. And we'll take a look at how it moves in a little bit. I didn't even think about that. I just thought like maybe you would push the patient further and further in, but how would you ever be able to do that with scale, you know, to get the smooth study? That's how you do it. It drives itself. That is pretty cool. We're going to take a look at that right now. We're going to go down to the basement, or the first floor. All right, and here we are. We are going downstairs to the first floor, or what I would think is the basement. I didn't even know this building had 2 floors when I first came through. And down here is where they actually do the big work. And I guess that kind of makes sense, is because what we're going to see next are incredibly heavy devices, very complex.
Clean that.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's the room we can't go in.
So is that anti-static and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And they built
Okay.
detectors and things in there
That's
for
cool.
the CT.
See, they actually do a lot of stuff in this facility that I wouldn't expect. I thought this is where they would unpack and set up CTs. No, this is where they build them. Hey guys. So they have a fantastic little cafe down here. And
Another coffee machine.
oh, I can smell it. Oh, I love those machines. So cool. So what we're going into next is the part of the company that develops CTs. So it's a whole separate section. This here is some of the admin area.
IT, and then back here is our technical support for mobile CT.
Okay.
Eventually they'll move upstairs, the next round of construction.
And it's so quiet down here. You can tell everybody's thinking and everybody's working because everybody's doing their thing. You've got some of the engineers and stuff down here. It's cool stuff. Okay. You've got part of the repair and assembly area over here. Here we go, guys. We're gonna see some stuff that you might not have ever seen before. So this is obviously logistics, shipping and receiving. Oh, wow. I didn't see any of this yesterday. Okay. Holy cow, that is a massive package.
And you see how our boxes are all custom made for the systems.
My kids would love that box, by the way. Like, that's that is so cool. Hey, sir, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
So, since they're dealing with large equipment, they're gonna have large boxes. That's cool, man. It feels so good with the air coming in from outside. All right. See many hard cases and stuff.
Hi, guys.
Guys?
Morning.
Oh, wow. Look at the crane. I guess you'd have to have that because you got to get them on and off the pallets. That's a nice one, too. Holy cow. That certainly makes things better. Better than the analog way of the screw lifts. Oh, wow. This is so cool. So you can see one of their units right here. Now, do they offer training on these portable units as well? Really?
I'm not sure.
So they had shielded rooms, and so this is with the covers on and covers off. Their OmniTom, which is used for the head, and what's so cool,
Infants.
yeah.
You'll see these a lot in zoos as well.
So the bores are really portable. They're controlled by a tablet. They have cameras and they have ultrasonic sensors that are controlling for obstruction. And you can see they have omnidirectional wheels, so they can move forward and back, side and side. Super cool. You can see they have good access to the slip rings and everything, and all the components are in readily accessible locations. So there's a unit that's currently in testing and one that is in its final production. Over here you can see they actually build them step by step, which is so crazy because you would think you'd need, I don't know, a Boeing warehouse or something to build CTs, but here they're building them component by component. This is some neat stuff. And so those ones were portable, and you know, it's hard to imagine a portable CT because it's battery powered. You can run it without it being plugged in, and those are the ones that they have installed into the ambulances. But let's say you have an operating room and you want to take some shots of a patient that's currently undergoing surgery. Traditionally, we have only had one option, and that is mainly C-arm. You can take C-arm shots, and that is it. But C-arm, they try and imitate CT technology by doing composite shots and rotating it and whatnot, but it still is not a CT image. And here you can see they have their Samsung batteries, which are the same batteries that they developed for Tesla. You see they just pack batteries inside this chassis, and this is a battery powered full size. It's called the BodyTom, and it's a fascinating device because they use tractor drives on each side, and that is how it generates a scan. So when it starts spinning up, your drives here and here, well, it lowers down on those and they move it in the direction of the scan. So it's some pretty cool tech, and it can run off the battery. So there is a workstation that sits off to the side, and that's where you'll be controlling it and actually doing the study. But the device itself can run without being plugged in. It's called the BodyTom. 60 centimeter bore, so it is a wide bore unit. Fantastic piece of tech. And I believe they can go up to 64 slice, right?
Yes.
On these guys? Yeah. So it's absolutely amazing that here in this actually kind of small space, they're assembling entire CT systems. And
I think he'd say it's small, right?
this, I would definitely say that this is a small space. You would expect a giant warehouse. Anytime somebody thinks that you're developing something like a medical device, you're thinking full-scale production facility. You know, massive warehouse.
Yeah.
Nope.
We're gonna get you some.
Absolutely amazing. Here, I'll tell you what, we'll walk around the back, give you guys a quick view. You can see where the controllers. Pretty cool stuff. Like I said earlier, you can see that they cram batteries in every location that they can. It's really neat to see how they create the drive system. So these are the motors that lower it down from the drive and steering casters onto its scanning drive, which are the dual bands down there. Crazy tech. How heavy is the BodyTom? 1,000, 2,000 pounds?
What is it, Jack? A little over 3,000?
3,000 pounds. Oh, I believe it. Probably mainly batteries.
Batteries are very heavy. They're over 50 pounds each.
The batteries, X-ray tube.
Battery.
That's pretty incredible. Wow. Fascinating stuff. Then, once it's done with production, they have to go into testing. And you guys can see the bore of one unit right here. So cool to see these components just kind of sitting around waiting for their stage. And these are the lead line rooms that are used for testing systems. You can see that we have parts, we have body panels, a lot of cool stuff. Guys, I thought I'd seen everything, and I was walking around and I realized that there's a hallway that I didn't take a look at, and it's so easy. There's so many different rooms and stuff in this facility that we're going to go ahead and take a look at one of the other rooms where they're currently assembling. There's a whole team of people currently working on mobile CTs, and I can't believe I didn't notice that there's a whole nother section of the building. So we're going to go ahead and slide over into this right now. So here's where we currently were. We're over here in this room, and I noticed that there's this hallway over here. And the wild thing is, I guess I've seen some people walking in and out of this room. I was like, holy cow, look at this. I could nerd out in here for sure. There's several units in various stages of production. So you can see some of them are still being assembled. Some of them, they have burn-in tests and whatnot to do. You can see one of them with the covers off. It's just pretty wild. You can see the omnidirectional wheels right here that I was talking about. That's what they look like. They're driven by large closed-loop steppers or servos. Very neat. Very heavy-duty too. Look at that. That's what's inside the OmniTom. And it's all very condensed, liquid cooled. can't believe they fit all that into that tiny little package. That's insane. That is a lot of tech in a very small area. And over here, you can see that they actually have a Phantom inside this machine. And they're going to run tests on the Phantom. This one here's got the leaded shrouds already installed. And here we have a working version of the BodyTom. How cool is this? So this one's actually all powered up. See, they actually just drove this one here, and it's so quiet when they're moving them around. You would think that something that's as much as a Volkswagen in weight would make a thunderous noise when you're moving it around, but while I was recording this video, they just moved this one right in behind me. That's fantastic. And it is currently unplugged, if you can't tell. Here, completely operating off batteries. And this guy spins up and everything like when it's on batteries?
Yep. Shoot X-ray, do everything.
Oh, that's wild. Everything seems to be pretty easy to maintenance on it. You would think that a portable unit would have to have everything into racks or something in order to make it more portable, but no, everything is right out in the open. Very
Talk
cool.
about serviceability from a
Yeah, as far as
service
being able to get
technician.
to, yeah.
It makes it easier for a technician to service equipment whenever it's thought out well in the design. And ours are thought out so well that it makes it.
Does it
easy to
have
swap apart.
bump detection like on the chassis at all? So does it know if you're going to run it into something?
Yeah, this works like a garage door. There's a switch inside here.
Oh, okay.
So if it bumps into something, it actually backs up like a garage door. If it hits you in one
Yeah.
particular direction, it does the same thing.
That'd be the one thing I'd be curious about, because you're talking something that's thousands of pounds, and
Yeah.
the fact that, you know, you could probably hurt somebody pretty bad if you weren't careful. Okay, so it's got bump detection. That's neat.
Check this out.
Oh, it's whisper quiet. So it's all magnetic drive, right?
No, actually belt.
Oh, this one's belt drive. No kidding.
That one's magnetic. This one's
Oh, look at that. That's a beast. So is the motor over here?
right there.
That's driving it?
Yeah. Regular gearbox and
Oh, wow.
heavy electricals going through here.
Yeah.
Light electrical, and then data signal through fiber optic and a reader on the side of the fence.
What? Data goes through fiber optics?
Yep. So it goes from fiber optics into the transmitter, back to this receiver, back to fiber optics, straight into the recon.
I had no idea. I thought that the slip rings transmitted data and everything. That's wild.
Now there's certain CAN data that will go through these
Right.
4 rings here,
Right.
stuff like that. But the actual, when you're shooting and the data being transmitted back, is all through
Yeah, because that's a massive amount of data.
Yes.
And you couldn't have any interruptions, which slip rings, even though they're, you know, it's an age-old technology, it still would have not enough bandwidth, you would think,
Right.
for the amount of data these guys have to
This
process.
is the 32. The 64 machine has even faster fiber optic.
Wow. That's so cool. See the dry belt right here. Still, looks like it's reasonably easy to service. It's
Yeah.
kind of out in the open. There's a NEMA 34 motor. I wouldn't think that would be able to drive this. That's crazy.
It's pretty well balanced. We balance it up and stuff, and it's actually not bad.
Okay. That's wild. I use motors that size on my CNC at home. That's crazy.
Right.
Okay. Oh, look at this. All the switches and everything. All the breakers. All in one spot.
And our OmniToms, they're lead line themselves.
Oh, the chassis itself?
The chassis itself is lead line.
The front cover.
And the front cover.
Front cover has the lead lining.
We've got our little LED curtains here if needed.
That's cool. Yeah, these are definitely some neat pieces of tech. Anyway, guys, I wasn't expecting that. There's a lot of stuff going on in this room, and I'm gonna walk around. There's some things that probably we can't show you guys. I mean, there's some proprietary information and whatnot going on here, but some really neat piece of tech. The fact that it's being made right here in the United States, in Boston, technically. We got a team of expert engineers and stuff that are always working on this stuff, and they're gonna deploy from here. So, if you ever want some more information on these, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And we're going to do special videos just on this tech right here because there's so much going on. And even while I'm talking, they're moving this behemoth behind me, and it's so quiet, whisper quiet. Cool stuff. Well, guys, that's Samsung and their affiliates up here, Boston, Massachusetts. Thanks for watching, guys.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below with what you'd like to see in future videos.